Всім привіт! Сьогодні буде Sherlock Holmes. The Event. Ілі якось так, не знаю, як воно там правильно. Но надіємося на лучший ісход. Розділ 1. Морок над Лондоном. Бейкер-стріт.
Dr. Watson, would you kindly close the door behind you so that we can limit the price of your carelessness to merely hours of work rather than days?
My apologies, Mr. Holmes. I found myself rather taken aback. I saw tidier houses in war-torn Afghanistan. Are those my surgical needles?
I ran out of tacks and the matter required immediate attention.
Was that my supper?
Plainly not, for I was the one who ate it.
I set it aside for this evening.
And for that I am grateful.
Is that my bed?
Watson, since you've proven yourself a master of observation, might I ask you to apply your skills to a more pertinent question? Namely, the whereabouts of today's newspapers. They are the key to everything. The newsboy is usually reliable.
Medically speaking, I often find that the key to everything is good sleep. In a bed. Your papers are here, on the table.
Let us see what the postman brought today.
Лондонський вісник. Читать тут, конечно, прилично. Напруга між Англією та Швецією значно загострилась. Після серії неприємних інцидентів, які стались під час візиту до Лондона шведської принцеси Ільдур. Ух ті, блядь, Ільдури. Нинче головним скандалом був провал британської дипломатичної служби. Після загадкового зникнення особистої охорони принцеси. Чоловік, який багато років був наближеним до принцеси Ільдур, скористався вільним часом, щоб погуляти Лондоном. Пізно вночі й не повернувся. Блін, це печально. Речник поліції запевнив журналістів вісника, що охоронця обов'язково знайдуть, адже він є яскравим представником скандинавського народу. Такого чоловіка швидко помітять або інші відвідувачі. Інші відвідувачі джентльменського клубу, в який він пішов, аби милі голубоніки і їх там щось там ще.
Another letter from Werner. I never reply, but they keep coming.
Що ж.
Your order from Barnes' bookshop has arrived, Doctor.
Barnes insists on delivering the books to our door, even though we could easily walk to his shop. That's good service.
I don't see the Strand. Where is it?
Pardon me?
I am on the precipice of uncovering a pattern of crime across London spanning many months and involving many men. The missing paper cannot be a coincidence.
That's preposterous.
My dear fellow, life is infinitely stranger than anything which the mind of man can invent.
Well, life used your newspaper to wipe its posterior, so after that unpleasant discovery this morning, I disposed of it. But in lieu of the Strand, perhaps I can deliver you something equally tantalizing. I have just returned from a patient of mine, Captain Stemwick, who...
No, that will not do. Grab your coat, Dr. Watson. Let us hope nobody has collected the dustbin. A cactus spine. If it gets in your skin, it's awfully tricky to remove, and when laced with poison, the perfect assassination tool. You were mistaken, Dr. Watson. The paper was indeed dirtied, but not how you implied. It's potting soil. See, Watson? The conspiracy is real. Someone tried to poison me.
Poison? You? That's madness. Do you even have enemies
Get
that
the
would want to
Strand.
kill
Get
you?
your copy of the
Okay,
Strand
perhaps.
here.
From Cordona.
Get the Strand. Get your copy of the Strand here.
Ну, секунду. Здорово, мужик.
Sorry, Mr.
So
Holmes.
там?
I just sold my last paper.
Blast. Then why are you still here?
Boss pays by the hour. No sense in returning early.
Які сьогодні були заголовки? Що сталося з моєю газетою?
You're a bright child. I presume you see everything that goes on around here?
Nothing gets past me, mister.
Then tell me, did you notice anyone suspicious at my door this morning?
Like the man with your newspaper?
Precisely. What do you know?
I know the value of a shilling.
Dr. Watson,
Sure, now I can take the day off.
Куди він попрямував? Що він зробив із газетою?
did you see what he was up to?
Nah, not really. I saw him approaching your house, but I had a customer. Then there's a loud bang. I ducked down. Not because I was scared, because I wasn't. I had to protect the merchandise. And all I could see was him kneeling at your door.
Which way did he go?
Not sure. I was distracted by customers. Sorry.
Can you describe the man you saw?
He was carrying a lot of books. Up to his chin they were.
Never heard of a well-read assassin.
Looks can deceive. Hence the appeal of disguises. All right. You earned your shilling. That'll be all.
Thanks, Mr. Holmes. Maybe I could be your eyes and ears.
Все, давай.
Shillings. Get the Strand. Get your copy of the Strand here.
Вот. План Барнс причастен до змови. Я сумніваюсь. Хлопчик-газетар бачив підозрілого чоловіка зі стосом книг у руках. І саме цього ранку пан Барнс, місцевий продавець книг, доставив доктору Ватсону роман «Голка кактуса для тихого вбивства». Гучний звук. Схоже, слід зринути в книготарню Барнса. Поняв? Поняв, прийняв.
Not every pawn knows it's part of a game.
Ну, блин, очень непогано. Таке прям интересно получается дело.
How about that Vogel fellow? He seems rather obsessive. Would he do
Книга
something like this?
Барнса. Так, ну я так понимаю, вона десь там дальше. А тут що? А тут просто мелкие не цьому хуй пойми хто і хер пойми що. Ти що тут робиш, а, скотина? Що-то, блядь, так подозрительно стали? Я мені дивіться, блядь. Блядь. І так. Це у нас ти? Умник царя Гороха, здоров. Наблюдати. Насліду. Мішки під очима. Чорнило. Чорнило від газети. Подозрительний ти чоловічок нинче. Сильно спирається на праву ногу. Болить ліва нога. Так. Тут що? Хлопці. високі підбори. Так. Трудоголік і же жертва. Якась жертва. Візьмем трудоголік. Очень маловероятно, що це він.
Mr. Barnes, a word. Oh, for goodness sake.
Who goes there?
Sherlock Holmes. Now will you please...
Mr. Holmes. Golly, I did not see you coming.
Would you care to answer some questions for me?
Well, I wish I could, but I am deep in the weeds with work. How about we reschedule in a month or two?
Come now, Mr. Barnes. It will only take a moment.
Really deep in the weeds with important things. Well, help yourself to any book. Just take it and pay later. I trust you, Mr. Holmes.
Barnes doesn't seem like himself. Why is he?
Ну і зараза, блін.
You're asking the right questions, Doctor. Let's find a way to...
Ну і ладно, хер з тобою. Так, во.
The ladder is broken recently.
Зламана сходинка. Сталося недавно, як я ну, или видимо щось того. О. Собачка.
Answers a dog now.
Барс завів собі пса.
Apologies, but I can't hear
Будь ласка,
you.
приходьте пізніше. Ну і ладно.
I could hardly imagine anything more macabre.
Чогось більш моторошно від цієї картини, собственно, можна так сказати. Ну, это да. От що.
Basics of cryptoanalysis. Cryptography in Egypt. It appears Barnes has an interesting hobby.
Каталог екзотичних рослин. Каталог екзотичних рослин на Борисовському прилавку. Називається він невмирущі рослини для невмирущого кохання. Хорошо. Хоча що тут хорошого хуя
Barnes has
знаю.
always been a little odd, but this is uncharacteristic even for him.
Звучить поки що подозрительно це все діло. Ну да ладно.
The finest view London
Найкращий
has to
вид
offer.
з вікна у всьому Лондоні, чи на весь Лондон, скажімо так.
In the language of Mycroft's secret agents,
Мовою
it's a sign.
таємних агентів
Flowers are replaced when the job is done.
Майкрофта це
Wonder
знак
who the recipient is.
і квіти.
An
Що ж,
improvised stand. Does make the flowers
імпровізована
more visible.
підставка, але справу. Так, ладно. Так, погнали через дорогу. Ну ж, для першого разу, блін, я вважаю, що непогано.
Encouraging people to stop and smell the roses.
Закликай. Це ж наш національний символ. Символ непоганих квіток, допустим.
It must take patience
Щоб
to produce
розкостити
a
таку красу, потрібно багато часу. Гадаю, що так. Опа. Так, так. Вот. Горщик побитий, удар був сильним, але, типа, можна сказати, що все йде як надо.
Familiar spine. That's what I found in my
Знайомі голки.
Anything tickle your fancy,
Щось
Mr.
припало
Holmes?
вам до вподоби, скажімо так. Куди піти? Користується макіяжем. Розкішна тканина. Блукливий погляд, блукавий. Жалоба жалобна брошка. Жалобна за померлого чоловіка. Що ж, печально осознать это діло. Так, тут що? Чисте взуття. Готова жити далі, досі горює, собственно, за чоловіком. Хоча пані Флемінг шанує пам'ять померлого чоловіка, вона намагається почати жити зовсім далі. Вона часто замислено дивиться вдалечінь. Ну, я думаю, скоріше всього, жити далі буде. Очень мала вероятність, що вона там прям... Тому візьмем це.
You look particularly lovely today. Is there a reason?
Does a woman need a reason to look or feel beautiful?
No, but your distant look suggests you seek one man's gaze in particular.
Who told you that?
Nobody. Merely a keen eye and some simple deduction.
Well, I'll kindly ask you to keep your keen eye to yourself, Mr. Holmes.
I'll be off.
Ой, стоять. Не туди.
Are you familiar with Mr. Barnes?
Ви знайомі з ним?
Not really.
З
Well,
Барнсом.
in a way.
What on earth does that mean?
I know who he is, of course, but we haven't shared much more than a look.
A look?
Yes. Each morning I go for a walk in the park with my dog, and most days I spot Mr. Barnes there with his new puppy, so we see each other. Actually, we once met briefly while our dogs played. He was quiet and seemed unsteady as he approached, but since then, we've never spoken. I often see him staring through the shop window. Sometimes I wonder what he thinks about that would etch such longing onto his face. I'm afraid I can't help with that, Mr. Holmes.
What do you make of the flowers in Barnes' shop window?
Well, they could use a bit of water.
Do they mean anything to you?
Mean anything how? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Holmes.
Why do you think they're there?
Are you suggesting the flowers are for me?
It seems likely, does it not?
Oh, I hope you're right. Are you sure you're asking the right person? I'm just a flower seller. Are you sure you're asking the right person? I'm just a flower seller. I don't know anything about this, sorry. Are you sure you're asking the right person? I'm just a flower seller. Are you sure you're asking the right person? I'm just a flower seller. I'm afraid I can't help with that, Mr. Holmes.
One of these things is not like the other.
Come again?
The cactus. Those fearsome spines can prove a devil to remove, and the sap is often toxic.
And a rose thorn can give you tetanus, but we still grow them. The cactus seems comparatively harmless, though you have me thinking it must be valuable.
I was under the impression that you knew its price already.
Your guess is as good as mine. The first time I saw this cactus was when I came back from my break.
Можна сказати, любовна лінія, мені кажеться, якась є. А може і ні. Так. Предмет не воно. Троянди на фоні. Книги як рід. Так, есть. Так, вот не совпадение уже есть. Так, 2 із 3 уже не. От. Пан Барнс закоханий у пані Флемінг. Ага. Пан Барнс поставив на підвіконні букет з соплих квітів, сподіваючись привернути увагу від квіткарки пані Флемінг. Він, сподіваючись, що вона зайде до нього, щоб порадити йому, як краще поливати квіти, або ж такий учинок може бути просто виявом його розпачу. Так. Барс анонімно подарував їй кактус, замовлення із каталогу на його прилавку. Очень такий не очень вибір, звісно, але для Барса він є символом вічного кохання, оскільки в каталозі ці кактуси описуються як невмирущі рослини. Тоже хороший знак. Треба взяти собі на замітку. Це явно той самий кактус, який він зронив на примічник Стренд, що лежав під деревом, під дверима. Бейскер Стріт. Цікаво, що він, собственно, там робить. Окей. Все. Все, зашибись, погнали.
We're looking for a cactus needle in a haystack. A spine in a bookstack? No, come on, Watson, think.
Mr. Barnes, I know what you did.
Я знаю, що ви зробили. Перепрошую, пане Холмс, що вас не чути за дверима. Замовлення кактуса із квіток каталога залишилось його панцю. Бо її таємний шанувальник.
I couldn't read this morning's
Я не
edition
зміг
of The
прочитати
Strand
сьогоднішній
because it was covered
випуск,
in soil and
бо газета
spines.
була
I know you
не...
dropped a cactus on it and then
Я
fled.
не знаю, що ви зробили.
Barnes, it's
Ох,
Dr.
блядь,
Watson.
короче,
Rest
я не
assured, we are
встигаю
not-
ніхера читати, блядь, это починає роздражати. Ну да, що ти зробиш? Значить не будем цьому так. Будем просто
you know what
дивитись.
happened then? I was on my way back from the post office, having picked up the cactus and some books. It was quite an awkward package, heavy too, and when I got to your door, I dropped the cactus in your paper. Forgive me.
I needed that paper to prove a theory and prevent a crime. Your actions were rather disruptive. Your clumsiness carrying the post is matched only by the clumsiness of your romantic gesture.
Oh, it's true. I am useless with this sort of thing. I'm not even sure if Mrs. Fleming noticed.
Я на цьому мало знаюсь. Я знаю, що робити.
As in most things in life, truth is the answer. Cease with the obtruse signals and anonymous gifts, and simply talk to the woman. What is the worst that can happen? She rejects you, and you are freed from this endless purgatory.
That... Yes, you are correct, of course. I do have a slight tendency to overthink things. Thank you.
So, at last, we return to the matter of the paper. I'm investigating a string of burglaries. Did you perhaps read of any before the edition was spoiled?
I don't recall, but you're welcome to read our copy for yourself.
You had an issue of The Strand here all along?
Well, naturally. I am a bookseller. I have a subscription to every magazine and newspaper in London.
So you ought to be familiar with the concept of burying the lead.
Oh no, my apologies, Mr. Holmes. I'll make it up to you however I can. I am an expert on obscure languages and translation and
Yes, okay. Just give me the paper.
Фух, вот это поворот. Вибух каліної селітри. Угу. Да уж, весела задачка. Вчора вночі мирний сон містян, які живуть біля лондонського порту, порушила гучні вибухи. Над доками здійснюється пустий і червоний дим. Відомо, що з моменту вибуха біля пірса 11.3 був пришвартований торговий корабель, який готувався до плавання в Європу. Жодних коментарів від представників порту поки не було, і наразі невідомо, чи були на берегу члени екіпажу, звідки бачили, як калійна селітра висипається в річку, проте відтоді доступ роботників порту та сторонніх до місця подій було обмежено. А отже, на офіційне відмовлення про інцидент доведеться самому, собственно,
Let's put this
шукати.
matter behind us.
Тільки
Farewell,
по
Mr.
того.
Barnes. I hope to hear good news about you and Mrs. Fleming.
Well, that was an utter waste of time.
An assassination did seem rather unlikely.
There was supposed to be another burglary. I was certain of it. Something you wish to say, Doctor?
No? Well, only that you have a remarkable faculty for deduction and pattern recognition, and that perhaps, if ill-applied...
I see things that are not there.
Yes. It is London. There will always be burglaries. Doesn't have to mean anything.
So it seems. Forgive me. Without something to occupy my mind, I turn into an entirely different animal.
Which brings us back to my news from earlier. I think I have a case for you, a real one. A patient of mine, Captain Stenwick, told me that his servant disappeared. I said I knew just the man to help. What do you say?
Oh, Watson.
Yes, I know it's not the most tantalizing mystery, nor the story to launch my writing career, but...
It's brilliant. Let's go.
Oh, good. Well, his house is nearby. Come.
Хорошо.
Not much further now.
Вже близько. А, так він знає, куди йти. Що ми будемо? Так. Маєток
Stenwick is just
Стенфіка.
down the
Чи
street
що
from
там?
Barnes's bookshop.
Хорошо.
Is this lousy attitude of yours because of my altercation with Inspector Lockhart? Did he put you up to this?
Sir, the inspector has nothing to do with it. I'm telling you the same thing I tell anyone seeking a missing person.
Good day, gentlemen. Forgive the intrusion. Captain Stenwick, this is my colleague Sherlock Holmes, the consulting detective I told you about.
At last, a professional. This useless officer refuses to do anything about Kimmy here, my missing servant. What was your name again? I shall be certain to inform your superiors.
Sergeant Ruffles. It's my superiors who made this decision, sir.
Чи є інші зниклі?
Have there been other disappearances lately?
Of course, here and there. But when life is tough and opportunity comes knocking, you can't blame those who answer.
Why has the police department decided not to help?
We investigate murders, thefts, fraud, arson, real crimes. A servant walking away from his master is not our highest priority. That said, if we find him here breaking the law, we'll be sure to notify Captain Stenwick. Now, I must be off. Best of luck in your search.
You heard that, didn't you? The way that man spoke to me? I shall need your written testimony, then we can lodge a complaint.
Captain, perhaps Mr. Holmes' time is better spent learning about your servant, so that he may begin his investigation.
Ah, yes. Quite right. Fire away.
Де він живе? Ви можете описати Кімігію?
Tell me about Kimahir.
He's foreign, a Maori, all the way from New Zealand. Biggest man you've ever seen, and as strong as two. Dark hair and fearsome tattoos. He doesn't speak a whit of English, never bothered to learn. But I made do with pointing. I invested a lot of money in him, so he must be found.
Де він
May I
живе?
see your servant's bedroom?
His shack is in the garden. You can't miss it.
Did you search the room?
Of course, but only to check he wasn't lying dead inside. Everything seemed normal at a glance.
When did you last see your servant?
Kimmy here normally brings me the morning papers, but yesterday I had to get them myself. He must have escaped the night before yesterday.
Чому він міг утекти?
Is there any reason Kimahir may have left?
I should think not. He had all he could have wanted. Gainful employment, new clothes, and all the cabbage he could eat.
I take it this is the first time Kimahir has vanished?
Undoubtedly. The man seemed terrified of the city. I think it was all the noise. He never left this estate. Should he cause any damage, I will bear the responsibility, for it was I who rescued him from savagery and brought him here to England in the first place.
Did Kimahir make off with anything of value?
Heavens, no. I would have mentioned it to Sergeant Ruffles.
Still, he must have fled with some money on his person.
No. I kept his wages in my safe. For security.
All right, Captain. I think I have enough to get started. We shall first take a look around the mansion.
Go ahead. I'll be here, mentally drafting my complaint.
Веселая задачка. Хорошо.
Stenwick makes his servant live in a tool shed. You think you know someone.
Chewing tobacco.
Фух. Так, ладно.
Chewing tobacco. A shoe print, roughly size 11, with a worn-out sole. These are a workman's boots.
И интересно узнать, а де третье? Хрен его знали. Значить, десь близько має бути, ну де? Хрен його знає. Очень странная, так сказать, фишка получается.
A shoe print, roughly size 11, with a worn-out sole. These are a workman's boots. Someone knelt here. The amount of chewing tobacco suggests they were waiting a while.
Amazing, Mr. Holmes. To read the ground like an open book. Do you think Kimmy here had an accomplice in his escape?
A scrap of Hessian. These were sturdy boxes. It would have required a serious blow to break them.
Ага. Ладно.
Impressive. The sack of grain retained the shape of an impact. Someone hit their head here.
Вот у меня из двух.
A small navy spyglass.
Ага.
Clothes made of hessian. Is Stenwick really so miserly? No air coming through it. Button chops. The remains of a meal. The ashes are long since cold. No air coming through it. A heavy chemical odor. Lend me your nose, Doctor.
Ah, I'll never forget that smell after my time in Afghanistan. That's an opioid, Mr. Holmes, a narcotic.
A Maori
Ага.
monster.
Вот.
Gurus, they're called.
Yes, Stenwick is no angel, but he's one of my few clients.
Could have left these tracks. They seem fresh.
Ага. А тут.
This lock is quite unusual. It appears that the key should be bent to the right.
Ага. Брат, выйди нахуй отсюда по-братски, нахуй. Не дай я выйду. Так. Предоставить доказы. Не, подожди, доказы, блядь.
I will not be
Секунд.
long, Captain.
Да-да-да, капитану, блядь. Эль капитану, нахуй.
This
Shot is what?
disappearance is intriguing, no? I cannot make head nor tail of it.
Отлично. Уже одне є. Блять, ты заебал, чел. Выйди нахуй отсюда, мужик. Щось воно не то. Ну я не знаю поки що. Перше. Значить, на цьому ми закінчуємо.